What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bittensor TAO USD today. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 11th day of April, and here we are with about 9 hours left in the day, sitting at $264. And the investors of TAO, the crypto speculators in the market as a whole, are shouting two different perspectives at the same time just as loudly. There's a lot of people who think TAO's dead. It's a decentralization theater. It's going to zero. They've been exposed. This is a bad investment. And then there's the other people who are like, wow, it only dropped this much and it went through this kind of bad publicity. That guy sold out. Wow, look at how, and it went through all this fear and bad sentiment. Look at how well it held up. It's going to pump through the roof. This thing is a golden dream. It's a golden star. It's neither of those things, guys. It's neither of those things. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but what happened over the last 3 days is nothing other than a black swan event. I think if we didn't have this contestation between Covenant AI and the leadership of TAO, I very much am confident the price is on its way above $400. If this guy who wanted to throw a bitch fit was so smart, he would have waited, man. He would have let this move play out. But no, he decided to hurt the price action. He could have pocketed a few extra $1 million or more if he let this thing play out. But no, he wanted to hurt the price action. And the thing is, the reality is, he did. He did hurt the price action. He hurt the momentum. The momentum's gone. Now people who, now there's incentive where here there wasn't incentive from the average person to sell, just incentive from a guy who was having a bitch fit. Basically, that's it. By the way, before we get too much further into this, I said this in yesterday's video, but the mic was all fuzzy. I believe that what happened over this is not going to hurt TAO in the long run. But whoever's in charge of Covenant AI, it's going to hurt him in the long run. Yeah, nobody's going to want to do business with him anymore. You show how you handle yourself in the public eye. Like, that's just not how you do it. He ripped himself a new one. I hope the 10 million was worth it. Hopefully he can but anything that he touches now in this space is going to have a bad name to it. Nobody's going to want to do business with him. So he might put money into other investments and stuff like that and be low key. That's probably the best thing for him. If he takes charge of anything, nobody's going to want to take part of it. This space is a small space, and if somebody gets burned, they look at the person who did the burning. TAO being exposed as a decentralization theater, and it's not really decentralized, is not detrimental to TAO. Okay, sure, whatever. It's not central. You think that anything in crypto that says they're decentralized is not centralized? They're all centralized. All of them. They're all centralized. There's a central point of authority with Bitcoin, basically, with the Bitcoin core development team and with Michael Saylor, as an investor and then as a developer. And then there's mining pools. There's all types of forms of centralization in Bitcoin. And you need that. You guys think that crypto is just this gift. I used to think this gift too, but I had to get slapped with reality one day because you think that we're just going to go from centralization to decentralization like that. That's never how it works. That's never how it works at all. You take baby steps. We're centralized. We're at a very centralized point of finance in the world of today. And as time goes on, we will go from centralized to centralized with aspects of decentralization. That's where we are now. To centralized with a lot more decentralization, to maybe 50-50 centralized, decentralized, to majority decentralized with very minimal involvement from a centralized point of authority, to completely decentralized if we get to that utopian state, whatever that might be, as far as finance is concerned, right? But the idea that we're just going to teleport there overnight is a bit ridiculous. So if anybody's thinking that already now, I don't know what's going on with this little piece of hair here, already right now in 2026, that we have full decentralization and that this having any kind of centralized point of authority exposes it for the fraud it is, you're crazy. And you probably panic sold at the worst possible time, and the price will likely come back up. Of course it's not decentralized. Of course it's not. Nothing is actually decentralized in this world, right? Except for Cardano maybe. But Cardano's not working out. You need that centralization. You need that guiding hand. You really do. Dogecoin might be decentralized too. And Bitcoin's the most decentralized, but still there are points of centralization. That's my main point. Anyways, moving on from the nonsense, which we're probably all familiar with at this point. what I was trying to say before I got all distracted there is the difference now is that you have a bunch of people who invested here who made a play banking on the idea that it would come up, and they got caught off guard by this black swan event. So where there was no incentive to sell here, or less incentive, and maybe there's more incentive to buy based on that next leg up, now you take that same area and now there's incentive to sell. They got burned. They just want to get out. They just want to get out. They don't care. You know, who knows if there's more negative stuff to come with this. This is a black swan event, and stuff like this triggers things, right? Like, it really does trigger negative play in the long term. So absolutely, I believe TAO will slowly but surely work its way down, even below $100, below these lows. I think that unfortunately the move here has come to an end. It was a very nice move, but it's come to an end. TAO, Bittensor, it's a great project. That's what people want to say, whatever. It's the next gen, whatever. That's cool. That's great. But it's going to take a little break. It's going to go for sleepy poo. And then, you know, we can try again next year or try again later this year. But it had its fun in the sun. No crypto that pumps in a bull market or a bear market for Bitcoin lasts forever. Okay? They do come to an end. And this is the beginning of that end. If this guy was smart, he could have waited for here. I mean, it was very obvious that we were going to the next levels up, but whatever. He wanted to be vindictive, and that costed him actually millions and a reputation, by the way. He's probably, again, the people that are hurt most from this is not Bittensor. It is without a doubt. Because think about this too, guys. If I'm right and the price action does come down, who are they going to blame? Who is the catalyst for this? They're not going to blame Bittensor. They're not going to blame TAO. You got clean hands now. You got clean hands now. It's the guy who started this cascade of negativity. He's going to be blamed. He's going to be remembered. Whoever he is, the guy that's in charge of Covenant AI, the subnet developer, whatever. He's the one with the bad taste in his mouth now, or that people have a bad taste in their mouth for. So, good luck finding a job, man. I hope that 10 million was worth it. In this economy, you know, if you're living in third world countries, it can definitely 10 million can get you far. But if you're living in any first world countries, that'll last you maybe a decade or two. And people who just come into money like that, they typically don't spend it well. He's clearly not smart. He's clearly impulsive, so I doubt that's going to last him. He really boned himself there. But if he's smart, if he invested in the right places, and he's quiet, he doesn't like talk to people, maybe he'll do well. But as far as business ventures go, I doubt anybody's going to want to work with him, especially after this fiasco. So he did more damage to himself than he did to Bittensor. Anyways, moving on from that, let's get into the TA. I've talked so much without giving you really anything at all. I thoroughly believe that we are going to see a move up. I thoroughly believe that anybody who's selling here is panic selling. They're selling on emotion, and anytime that happens, we get a nice move up. I also don't believe that when we do move up, that we're going to see higher highs. I don't believe that. If we do get higher highs, if we do get above $400, I'm going to be looking to short up there because that's a fantastic opportunity. But really what I think is going to happen is we've got a BART pattern here. That's all that's going to happen. And it'll probably be, it's a bullish BART pattern, but it probably won't give us higher highs. It'll probably sustain lower highs. We will get back above $300. We probably don't get above 360. So somewhere in this area here is my expectation. Probably closer to 320, 340, if anything. But let's just see from a high point here to a low point here, high to low, 307, 315, 332 at the highest maybe. Yeah. That's my expectation. This is a bit of a symmetrical triangle, and I think that we break out of it to the upside. A lot of panic selling, but then look at how much volume was here at this bottom area, and then no volume, no follow through volume to send the price down. I do think we're going to see a little bit of a relief rally, and we'll do again one of a few things. One, we'll find resistance right at prior support, which is basically at $300. I think that we will get a little bit above there and excite some people. Right, there's going to be some momentum that comes back. This guy was dumb for selling. Like, look, we're all going to be rich. And right then, when everybody's euphoric, that's whenever it's going to be time to sell. That's option 2. Option 1 is the line or below that line. Option 2 is the bubble. And option 3 is we could go higher. It could happen. I just don't see it happening. This kind of stuff, again, it's a black swan event. This kind of stuff, it's not black swan for all of crypto. It's just for TAO. This is the kind of stuff that does start your downtrend. And non-debatably at all, we were at the end of our uptrend. We were very much there. Like, I don't care if we had this much more to pump, we're basically there from high to high. But this instead upset the price action. So looking at this on a 1 hour time frame, we're pretty neutral. The RSI is taking a bullish shape. Stochastics are bullish. MACD is green. I wouldn't be surprised actually. Looking at this MACD here, I wouldn't be surprised if we did come down. Maybe we break this trend line here. People panic. People really start to panic. We get that last influx of panic sellers there to capitulate, and then that's whenever we move up. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Maybe you take a lower low here, perhaps even a lower low there, and then we move up. But I do fully expect that we will see prices above $300. We're at 263. Maybe we go below 250 before we do that. Who knows? But looking at the MACD and the stochastics being overbought like this, and even though the RSI is taking a bullish shape, actually I think I glazed over that a little too quickly. We do have lower highs here. It actually does make full sense that we go a little bit lower. Yeah, so we probably do. We work our way down over the weekend and maybe even going into early next week. But later this month, I do expect recovery. Maybe even later next week, I expect recovery. 4-hour time frame, just a little bit more fear. A little bit more for fear. There's a lot of people who think they're super smart buying here. They're confident in TAO, whatever. That confidence will be tested. Those who prevail will be rewarded in the short term, and then those who are smart will take profits before we ultimately plummet back down. Anybody who's expecting this right now, they might be riding the wave of this bearish pressure and thinking, oh, I should just go short here. This thing's going to drop through the floor. And they go short. Their bias is validated. They think they have nothing to worry about. They close out their stop losses and let it ride, and then boom, they get wrecked. That's probably, or more people go short. I should have gone short up here. I knew it. It wasn't going to be volatile like this. I should have gone short. You go short down here at the worst time, and then boom, then you rally to the upside. On that note, actually, what is, let's see, TAO? Can we see if there's any influx of shorts to longs? It's the weekend, so not really a whole lot. Let's see over the last 30 days. Like the last month. A lot of shorts, huh? A lot of shorts piled on there. A lot more over the past 30 days. Let's do the last 90 days because it is more than a 90-day period here. Yeah, there are a lot of shorts still, you guys. And I mean, a lot of those shorts get cleared out before we get to $360. So we really could rally back up to like 340, 350. And there will probably be more shorts and definitely more longs piled on as we make the trek up there. But we don't have to go all the way here. We don't have to stop there. You could go higher, but there are actually a lot more shorts than longs. That should tell you right there what will likely happen. I mean, it's not always so cut and dry with this thing, but that definitely speaks volumes in my opinion. Looking at this here on the 4-hour time frame, the RSI is bearish. Of course it is. The stochastics are bearish, and the MACD is bearish as well. Chill, do your thing, configure yourself, try again next week, maybe the week after. When I say try again, I mean move up. Here we are. Typically whenever you're at a range like this, you either hold support at the top, or if you break through, you'll hold support at the bottom. We're at the bottom. We're probably going to hold support here. Watch us break below this low. Everybody panics, but then we bounce right off of this low here, and then we move up, right? And then everybody gets excited. Maybe that's exactly what we're forming. Maybe we're forming like some type of head and shoulders pattern. This is the left shoulder. Here's the head. Here's the right shoulder. I mean, maybe that's exactly what we're forming, but I do expect that we'll move up in a matter of no time at all. The movement down that we have at the most extreme would take us somewhere around 240. We're at 263 now, where the movement up, I think at the least extreme, would take us right around $300, if not potentially up to like 360. Maybe we do go up to 360. That could happen. Perhaps we do get above this high point here. People get really excited, and that's when we sell. But again, the perspective is different here. You had all the hopes and dreams, you had all the concerns and the worries, and you had people who are buying anyways. Now they're underwater. They're looking to take slight profits or get out at a net zero loss, right? So you're gonna have people who just want to de-risk now. Where here you had profit takers and risk takers and bets being made. Now you have people who are going to want to wash their hands clean of those bets if they haven't panic sold already. Not to mention the amount of panic buyers you'll have up here, which panic buyers are just future sellers. That's all they are. Anyways, looking at the daily time frame, the RSI here, clearly taking a bearish stance. We rejected the overbought zone. That's no good. That's no bueno at all. This rejection off the overbought zone actually told us this event was happening. Show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. We literally had it in the charts. I wasn't paying attention to TAO here. That would have been a good call if I caught that on the 7th. Stochastics are clearly bearish, and the MACD is building bearish momentum. We're coming down. We're plummeting. There are a lot of bearish signals. Again, I don't believe, and I've said this several times through this video, I'll probably say it several times talking about TAO over the coming weeks. I don't believe that we're just going to plummet through the floor. I do believe that from here we're going to squiggle wiggle. It's going to be a little bit fought for, and slowly over time we will come down slowly over time, we will come down, inevitably breaking below this low, and then even breaking below $100. I thoroughly believe that TAO will break below $100. I have no interest in investing in TAO for the long term at all. I do have interest in making short term trades, and I think that that's okay. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you've got discipline, if you've got a methodology that works, then go ahead and trade. But 99.9% of you watching this probably shouldn't trade. If you trade, start with 1% of your portfolio. If you can take 1% of your portfolio and over the years, you can take 1% and turn it into 100%, or like gain it, like make it do a 100x, then cool. Now you actually have some real money, and you've had time to practice. Now you can use real money, but use little bits of money. Use 1% or less of your portfolio, even like use $100. Start there, and you'll likely lose it all. And then there you go. You didn't waste your whole portfolio. You didn't waste 20 or 10% of your portfolio. You didn't waste 90% of it. You spent your time. You got the kick, the serotonin, endorphin bump, whatever it is, from gambling, and you got it out of your system while still holding your coins, not in margined trades. Anyways, not in leveraged positions. $263 right here. Looking at the all-time history, it's clear, right? It's pretty clear what's going on. We should have gone a little bit higher, guys. I'm telling you, we should have. We would have, but this guy's a dummy. Really, just like he threw a bitch fit and he cost himself millions of dollars. You can't tell me that that's a smart move at all. Not systematic. Man, you could have hurt the price. You could have stepped away. You could have done all these things and done it quieter, so that you didn't, you could have done it in a more respectful way, so that you didn't stain your own name, and you would have made more money. Bro, what a dummy. What a dummy. Clearly smart for being there in the first place, but man, just such a, I mean, who knows? Maybe in hindsight he'll be the hero. Maybe he's telling us the truth. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. That's, yeah. Anyways, likely we're going to come down. We're going to break through this floor. We come back down here, you guys. It doesn't stand a chance. The only place to find support at is this prior area of resistance back here. Maybe even these prior areas of support, which would at a minimum take us to about $93, if not even as low as like below $50. This area is, in my opinion, it's Thanos. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Low to high here. 110 for the 1272. Okay. Can we make sense out of 110? Maybe we don't go below 100. Yeah, there's points of resistance there. Maybe we don't go below 100. It's possible. But the other two targets stand out a little bit more, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did go to $80, the golden extension there. You take this high or low to high here, the kind of main pivotal point there, and you get the same. You basically get the same readings, maybe even a little bit of a deeper reading here with the golden ratio, $64. But I digress. This will take time. We likely don't see targets below here until like Q3, and it might even be Q1 of 2027. It could be like Q1 of 2027. I'm drawing it too fast. It could be Q1 of 2027 before we're actually down at the low area itself. I do expect it to be a long, slow bleed, because that's what it was last time. That's what it was here. This doesn't look like a long, slow bleed. It looks like a straight shot down, but that was, from December to April. That was like a 4 or 5 month period there. 4 month. It would have been 4 month period. No. All of December to all of January to all of March to the beginning part of April. So it would have been like 4 months. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. The run is over. Doesn't mean that you can't make the most out of it. Doesn't mean you won't get a chance to sell at these higher areas. But if you're looking for a long-term investment, this is not the point to do it. I do believe TAO will see new all-time highs in time. I very much do believe it will. But if I'm banking on that, I'm going to be buying down here, not right here. Hit that like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. Good luck. Bye-bye.